What is going on, Arkansas Razorback fans? I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. It is Flamingo Friday. You can tell I'm back to the shirt, baby. Brought it back. I've got the shades. Just respect the drip, Karen. That's all I'm saying. Respect the drip from head to toe, okay? Gotta love the shades. Compliments to a friend of mine whom I will call Tim. Or T. How about that? Compliments to him. Thank you, good sir. The drip is, oh my goodness. It's just so special. It's so special. 4th of July weekend. Got the shirt. Got the flippy floppies on the feet. Right? Got the gym shorts. The shades. And the messy do because I don't care because it's the 4th of freaking July. Everything else before 1776 was a mistake. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week. Welcome to the PTN Live Show on Friday. We also had Kyle and I recorded yesterday the Hog Talk podcast. Episode 101 is available for you. You can check that link down below, provide for you in the description box. I'm sure you guys will do that. You'll download it. You'll listen. You'll rate and review the podcast because it's awesome. That's what the people here do. You guys are awesome. You see everything in the reflection of my shades. There's the Star Wars poster because I'm a big dork. There's my calendar. You see that there. My kid's drawing and my Father's Day card and some notes there from family. It's my computer screen. Isn't that cool? I can't do this the whole time. This is a little too dark. Snap into a Slim Jim, brother. Oh yeah, I could never do the voices, the wrestling voices too well. Oh yeah, brother. It's about as good as it gets. Okay, these are coming off. The drip is gonna have to take a back seat for just a second here. This will be. Oh my goodness. I just feel it's something about these shades. I don't know what it is. Yeah, of course, if you have any questions, comments, please feel free to do so in the chat. You can always, you guys used to email. I used to get emails about once a week, and I don't get those anymore. So feel free to shoot me an email. Hit me up in Discord, DMs. I know some of you have been sending me Facebook friend invites. I try to accept them, but then we do post personal stuff there. And don't get me wrong, I love it when people, when I'm at Walmart or I'm washing my car, putting gas in my car, someone walks up to me like, "Oh, I love you." That's great. I love it when you guys want to talk. But then when we post, stuff that's a little bit more like family involved, I'm a lot more hesitant. So I'm a little bit pickier about who I friend. And I'm not gonna lie, I bet I have unfriended in the last 3 or 4 years, hundreds of people. I literally, I remember going down my friends list and just unfriending people. And it's not you guys. It's like people that I know from like high school that were just total jerks. They don't like my content. They don't comment, I don't comment on their stuff. Some of them probably unfollowed me. You have that option on Facebook. So I'm just like, why am I friends with some of these people? Nothing personal. Okay, we've got some good information. Again, Hog Talk Podcast, episode 101. Kyle killed it with the Tyler Spoon interview, former Razorback outfielder. It's a good podcast. Kyle has really stepped up. I've had to be absent for a couple of shows in the last couple of months or so, and he's stepped up big time. Him and I are in this one, and go check it out. Porter does a good job for us as well, and I know Jacob's with Arkansas Fight, but man, he's still a brother to the HTP. So, mad respect to those three guys. I love working with them. Okay, I feel like I need to put the shades back on. Tyler Edmonson with the $2 donation. I appreciate that. Keep in mind, I don't have AdSense, so I do appreciate that, Tyler. But like I've said here before, if you do want to donate, do it to the PayPal or join the Patreon. I think Tyler Edmonson is a Patreon member, but I do appreciate the $2, man. That's awesome. Kyle Sutherland, yo! Again, Tyler Edmonson, Asa, what's up, my man? Asa, Austin Payne, can't get enough. Can't even watch SportsCenter without it being political. Damn, leave the politics to Hannity. Right? Leave it on CNN and Fox News. Whoa, is that riffraff? I don't know what that is. What's riffraff? If it's a certain kind of drip, then yes. Oh my God, you actually bought the shades. Yeah, so again, someone mailed them to my house. And they are clean, dude. And I'm sure people are like, wow, that guy, what's he doing? I don't care. I love him. That's all that matters, right? Macho Man Randy Savage. Mr. T-Dub, what's going on? Slap into a Slim Jim. Let me be the first to say it. Oh, goodness. Here we go with the Maxwell stuff. Did not, like Epstein, kill herself. Pretty good, Macho Man. Thank you. I hope you like that. Mr. Bloodline, how you doing? The Mega Powers will explode this summer, brother. Well, you know something, Mean Gene. Oh, my God. I haven't heard that in years. Mean Gene. PayPal, gotcha. What's your PayPal? So all those links are provided for you. Just tap that description box. There's a Patreon link. Hog Talk podcast link is there. All the latest podcast, all the latest HTP episodes are there. And the PayPal link is there provided as well. I haven't updated some of those links in a while. If they don't work, just let me know, and I'll find an update for you. Am I late to the party? No, your boy Judd, you just joined, my man. Tell RJ Young to get that job at CNN already. I wanted to comment on that briefly. I try not to get political here. Most of you probably have an idea of where I lean politically. It's not left or right, respectively. It's not. I have a porcupine sticker on the back of my car. And if you don't know whose logo that is to what party that belongs to, look it up. But I don't even always agree with them. I'm not any one which way. And my wife and I have had that discussion. And I know several of you really like RJ Young. I don't bring. I know he's been really in on the Black Lives Matter stuff. He pulled up some information on that head coach over at Oklahoma State. You know, the guy that reps the Arkansas waterfall hairdo. You know who I'm talking about. You remember all the stuff with the OAN shirt, and he went all in on that. And my opinion is, really, again, I'm trying so hard not to be political, but it's a damn T-shirt. He wasn't on the field with it. He wasn't at practice wearing it around. It's not like the guy's wearing a Make America Great Again hat. And even if he were, he's allowed to have a difference of opinion. Deal with it. Grow up. Grow some thicker skin. I don't know what to tell you, and I'm tired of being told, well, you don't know what it's like to have non-white skin. I'm sorry, but does that make my opinion irrelevant to the situation? At the end of the day, we're all allowed to have separate opinions, right? Yes, Black lives do matter, but you're also allowed to have a difference of opinion when it comes to other stuff politically. Some people brought up the whole, well, the timing was poor. When is a good time if he liked OAN? And by the way, we talked about that here. We quoted him here, what he had to say about OAN. He thought their news was a lot more positive. That was really his knowledge to who they were. And I'll be honest with you, I had heard of OAN, but I didn't realize they had an editor who was who had kind of come out and had a far different opinion of Black Lives Matter and the movement. Okay, one guy doesn't make the whole OAN website or whatever it is that they do. It doesn't make them all. It means one of their contributors is probably not the best human being, from what I understand. Again, it's just I don't understand social media. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. RJ Young went all in on that stuff, and then was digging up old stuff that had come out where a player on an opposing team heard Gundy call him the N-word. And from what I understand, no one else on his team, on the opposing team, heard that. It was just this one player. And RJ Young was digging up this dirt, and I'm just thinking, as a YouTuber, as a non-political, as a sports YouTuber, go down and read his comments on Twitter now. The people replying to his I think he has every right to talk about whatever he wants on Twitter. I may not always agree with him. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I'm all over the place. I'm talking about, I'll like political stuff. I'll retweet gaming information. I'll retweet sports. I'll retweet, just my own personal views. And not all retweets are endorsements either. Not all likes are endorsements. Sometimes I like stuff because then I can go back and I can look under my like tab and go, oh, yeah, I like that. I need to read that article. I guess I could always pin the link to a notepad or something. But I'm lazy. What can I say? It's just easier to tap the like button. But, yeah, I don't understand why R.J. Young's going down that path. I mean, it seems like he's making that all about what he does on the surface. You know, again, I don't watch all of his content. But from what I understand from people who do watch him, one of my friends is an OU fan, cannot stand him anymore. Can't stand him. They unfollowed him on Twitter. They unsubscribed. To my advice, and I know we've got some young upstart content creators that are Razorback fans. I've seen your links. I've seen people forward me stuff. I got an email from a guy that's trying to start a podcast. I've talked to numerous other Razorback content creators, both actual media members and then people like myself, kind of amateurish. My only advice to you, and I hate to say this, you are allowed to have your opinion, but it will have an effect on you if you make that, if that becomes a large percentage of what you talk about. Then all of a sudden you're attracting, what kind of audience are you attracting, right? What kind of audience are you bringing to your table now? And are those people going to stick around when you get back into sports and when you start making that about what your channel was meant to be? Imagine if I had done that here. Imagine if I'd gone into started talking about gaming, and so, I mean, you guys would disappear. You're not here for that. You're here for sports. So, as I've spent the first 10 minutes of this show talking about everything other than sports, I unsubscribed from him and stopped my financial support. He won't let up. He went full commie. I don't know that. I have no idea if he went full commie. I do think he's gotten wrapped up in this stuff, and I'm not even saying that he's wrong. Maybe he is right. I think some of the Gundy stuff, I mean, he's calling for, it seemed like he was calling for an all-out cancel culture on Oklahoma State and the situation over there, and that's just wrong. I'm sorry. I think Gundy has every right to his political opinion. Does he have a responsibility to his players? Sure he does, absolutely. But he's also allowed his own. I mean, he's not on the clock 24/7, even though that's kind of the belief that you're always on the clock. He is in a way. He's the CEO of that football program, and I get that and I understand it. But I don't know. I think all the outrage today is just it's social media. You know, the cancel culture is real. The hate mob on Twitter is absolutely real. Awesome. Be your own. Think for yourself. Without the blue or red goggles. I completely agree. RJ blocked me from dropping some facts. Uh-oh. The whole news thing with Bubba was the straw that broke the camel's back. Ty's Porcupine channel coming soon. I have had people want me to go into political stuff on podcasting and YouTube, and I won't do it. The only way I'd ever do it is if I left sports completely behind. And even then, I don't know. Who cares what R.J. Young says? It's just his opinions, laugh out loud. It's like but we all got one. Oh, it's like I see what you're saying. Yeah, right. No, and I agree. I think he's absolutely entitled to his opinions. Bubba Smiley, you talking about? What's up? Is that Toll McDaniel? Okay, let's get into this. We've got some Razorback news. First off, yeah, happy 4th of July weekend. Guys, be safe out there, please. But have a good time. If you're drinking the beers, call an Uber. Wear a mask, though, right? I don't know that I'd get in a mask. If I were driving Uber right now, I would have my mask on while driving, while I'm picking people up. But, again, good stuff. All right, football information. Sam Pittman had a meeting with the media, or a kind of a press conference with the media through Zoom. So their first walk-through practice will be on July 24th. It'll be the first time the entire team has been together under Sam Pittman, and it is mandatory. If you're a Razorback, if you want to put the pads on for the Hogs in 2020, you got to be there on July 24th. Again, this will be the first time they've all interacted together. A lot of these players have never met in person other than Zoom calls, which I think is what Sam Pittman had alluded to in one of his meetings with the press. That's trash, man. I mean, these kids need to be able to be around each other as long as they're taking whatever safety precautions that are necessary. I absolutely think they should have at least met in person to some extent or another. Remember, they are having voluntary workouts. Let's see. So on July 24th and then the weeks following that, obviously we'll get a better idea as to any position changes and hopefully an idea on the fall camp depth chart. That's huge. But fall camp will officially start on August 7th. Full pad practice will start on August 12th. So we kind of expected this. And Sam Pittman had said to the media, and Kyle and I had addressed this on the Hog Talk podcast on today's episode. They have coaches meetings. They're talking with the NCAA. They're talking with the fine folks with the SEC and Sankey and the like. And according to them, they're getting. I get the vibe, and you get this totally from Sam Pittman. He's a little tired of the media. Like, he had said it. The media can be a blessing and a curse, and in this case, it's a curse. The media has definitely turned this into something where we're not going to have a season in 2020. It's so unlikely. We've seen people like Kirk Herbstreit, and I think it was Rex Tellerman and a few others with ESPN, and I think even a couple with Fox Sports, I believe, had said that they didn't believe that we'd have a season, while Sam Pittman and the coaches, not just SEC coaches around the country, believe that we're going to have a season. I'm sure there's a couple of coaches or an AD somewhere who says otherwise. You're going to see that article get pushed on Twitter and Facebook. As soon as you hear some AD, and I think there's already actually been one of the Pac-12 ADs, I believe, had made a comment. But again, the coaches, as far as I know, especially in the SEC, it's business as usual. The plan is for the season to start on time. Do I believe that's going to happen? I just don't know. I don't know, and they're talking about this in Discord. And by the way, that link is also provided for you down below in the description box. But the idea of pushing the season back to spring, I'm going to tell you, that sounds like a nightmare for so many different reasons. It's going to cause a huge ripple. It's going to be a huge effect. It's going to send a ripple through recruiting. You've got the other. Assuming you're playing football in the spring, that means you've got other stuff going on campus. You're going to interrupt some things. I don't know that that's a good idea to do it in the spring. You're going to have 2 seasons in a single year. Is that a good idea? Is that ever a good idea when it comes to football? Maybe there's a reason why we have football when we have it, and it's stretching. I get you have fall games in the following year. I get that, or excuse me, not fall, bowl games in the following January. I get that. But you're talking about starting the season in spring. And I don't know that that's a good idea. The ripple effect that will have throughout the rest of the year and down the road, how does that affect or the ESP early signing period? Are they going to start pushing more and more stuff back? I don't like, that's like a huge disturbance, right? That's a huge disturbance of the force for all my fellow Star Wars nerds. I don't think that's a good idea. If it's the only option, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it yet. I think my dad and I had this conversation. It'll be nice. You're going to get overloaded with sports. We don't even know if COVID. We don't know to what degree COVID. How much the media. What's going on there with them. Are they underselling it or overselling it? We all believe they're kind of overselling COVID right now. Although it's real, it's absolutely 100% real. A friend of mine is being affected by it right now, and a couple of friends of mine. And it's real. It exists. Don't deny it. But is it being overblown? And to what degree is it actually affecting the populace by this winter and then obviously going into 2021? I don't like the idea of doing spring ball. That's just my thoughts. But if it's the only option you have left, then I don't know. Maybe you just have to face the music and do it. But again, fall camp, August 7th, full pad practice, August 12th. So let me get caught up on chat really quick. How to I drive Uber? I think some of you are hitting the bottle really early. Guys, it's only Friday afternoon. It's 3 o'clock somewhere. It's 3:30 here. How I think you meant how do I drive Uber, wear a mask, and drink a beer at the same time? Well, again, Asa, I think you've already hit the bottle, my friend. Your thoughts about 3-star linebacker? Yeah, I want to touch on that too really quick. They did have a commit, which is also a really big deal. What's up, William Watkins, hitting us up with the $10? I do appreciate that. Again, for anyone who's just joining, and I do appreciate, Will, the the donation. That's awesome. Thank you, my friend. But I don't have my AdSense connected. I'm not monetized right now. I don't even know where that money's going. This has been an ongoing issue for like a year. I don't know where the money's going. If you guys want to throw a dime in the donation box, there's a PayPal link provided for you down below. And I think Will's actually a member of the Patreon, the PTM Patreon Club. Will's the man. There will never be a season again because of Corona. It's not like it's here to stay. We will never not be on Earth. And it's so not an election year, sheep. Okay. What's up, Greg? Hey, Ty, have you ever thought about releasing merch? I would definitely be a buyer. I have some streamer friends of mine have told me I need to do it. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. I don't know. Maybe I should. We've talked about that with the Hog Talk as well, releasing some merch. I know we put out our Hog Talk shirts, but those are really only for us, and they're expensive to make. I know if you get them done in bulk, like they'll do it cheaper, but it's still expensive, and maybe I do need to look into it, though, Greg. Thanks for the comment. Predictions for where Arkansas 2021 basketball recruiting rankings will be. Good. Who was it? Ty Richardson on Twitter? Someone had said on Twitter that it would be a top 5 class. They felt like it'd be a top 5 class. I haven't even began breaking that class down yet. The next couple of years, the in-state talent, football and basketball, looks really promising. I know we say that every year, but I said at the beginning of 2020, and knowing that camps would be disrupted. By the way, Arkansas Elite 100 had camps last week. I thought that was really surprising. But and I don't have the information from that. I'd love to reach out to I follow, me and an individual follow each other back and forth on Twitter. I need to hit him up, maybe do an interview with him about that camp. But I knew that this would affect everything. I wasn't so positive about the in-state product this year. I don't think it's definitely not the year before, and it's definitely probably not even the year before that or the year before that. This is probably the 2020 class, not as strong as I ever really thought that it would be. So basketball and football looks on the up and up, though. I do think the potential is that could be a top 15, top 20 class. I don't know why Will's message got retracted. Once again, YouTube strikes. Unless he deleted it himself, I don't know. Hell, the so-called COVID experts keep contradicting themselves. At this point, how does anyone plan, right? Or know what to do with the short and long term? I agree. What do you do? How do you answer this? Do you just completely cancel the season? I might lose my mind. I don't know what. I might very well be playing video games on this channel if they cancel all sports for the rest of 2020. You might just find me in here playing video games. I don't know what I'm going to do. Content creators. There's only a couple of I hate to call them amateur, but let's face it, Hog Talk, and there's some other really good amateur podcasters and Facebook pages out there that are still grinding. But you are reaching for content. Hell, I'm reaching for content. Luckily, we still have some more to talk about. I don't know how you do this. I really don't. It's hard to load up a show with tons of good information. And this time of year, that's expected. But still, it's made it that much worse. I agree, Mark. Thanks for the comment. Mr. Cobra, also thank you for the comment. And Greg as well. If the Redskins change their name, what do you think they change it to? I don't know. Something not controversial, I guess. The chat is very political today. Well, the conversation started with RJ Young. CR Hooten, thanks for the $5 donation. I just got the PayPal. Thank you, I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Hey, Tony Brown, how you doing, my man? I was trying to cancel the payment, so okay, all right. I was like, nothing you said was controversial. I don't know why that was taken down. PS4 or Xbox. Man, I'm a PS4 Pro guy. 100%. Okay, let's move on to the latest addition to the basketball program, David Patrick. New basketball coach. He has a history at LSU with Musselman. He's kind of been around for a little while. This is a very good addition from what I understand. Most people that I've talked to are really positive about this hire. Had a lot to do with, I guess he's the what do you call it? the father or the godfather to Simmons, former LSU basketball player who's highly rated, who's in the NBA. Good Lord. Stop calling me, people. Never Fells. This isn't my typical time to go live either, so I get it. But it's Arky56 calling me, as a matter of fact. Spoiler alert, it's actually my dad. If you see him in chat, he's got the Cardinal logo. Arky56. That's Pops Hudson. That's who that is. But yeah, so this is a good addition, I believe. David Patrick, again, he's going to be the associate head coach for Eric Musselman. Again, they have a history. Musselman and Patrick previously worked together at LSU, helping the Tigers reach the 2015 NCAA tournament. Patrick was also responsible for the recruitment of 2016 number 1 overall NBA draft pick Ben Simmons while at LSU. It's a good pickup. And from what I understand, he's really personable with the players, and I assume they're going to get along. He's replacing some big shoes. All right, Isaiah Joe has until August 3rd to make his decision. Musselman recently talked with the media about that as well. I'm not going to go over everything that he said. I'm not going to quote him, but it sounds like he just doesn't know, and that really is the latest. It's more of the same. Isaiah Joe has until the 3rd. Right now, we're getting kind of conflicting. Excuse me. This water. I'm drinking flavored water, and I don't know why, but it's making me never fails on stream. I'm going to just let one rip for you. And then I'm going to have someone triggered in my comment section. How dare you burp on your microphone? But yeah, again, he has until August 3rd. It depends on where you read and where you hear it from. We've had one source tell us that Isaiah Joe is a projected top 40 pick, putting him somewhere in the second round. I did a little bit of digging. I went to grizzlybearblues.com, which is just really about the first place that popped up. They have him projected. The big board placements, Tankathon has him at 54th. ESPN has him at 60th. The Athletic has him at 72nd. Appreciate the donation, Tyler Edmonson. You're awesome. Appreciate it. Again, guys, I do appreciate if you want to throw a tip in the tip jar, the PayPal link is in the description box down below. But what I found, what was interesting, this is what their breakdown of, and they do a great job here, what Isaiah Joe does well. Isaiah Joe's main strength is well documented. He's a long-range bucket. Could not agree more. This guy he shoots from anywhere on the floor. At the next level, he's going to be asked to fire threes more often than inside the arc. He's already used that workload, as 76.4% from him. The shots came from three, almost 11 attempts per game. Third in the country. I didn't realize it was that high. I knew it was high, but I didn't know it was that high. I thought it would have been around 7 or 8 attempts. When you consider the fact that he missed time, he missed a few games. Though his three-point percentage seems a bit low, the sheer volume at which he shoots them makes him an asset. In addition, he flashed his upside as a marksman as a freshman when he shot 41% from three on 8 attempts per game. His role in the NBA projects to be a three-point specialist, and his ability to shoot off the dribble can make him a lethal weapon at the next level. He was also an elite pull-up shooter in college, ranking the 89th and the 97th percentile off the dribble in his career. If that translates to the next level, you're looking at someone who could become a microwave scorer in the NBA. Where he needs to improve, and again, this is grizzlybearblues.com. I love their analysis and what they broke down. And what they say here, I think I said this in a post-game show once or twice or probably multiple times. One thing that'd be nice to see out of Isaiah Joe at the next level is his improvement as a playmaker, just as an overall playmaker. Granted, he's exceptional at creating his own shot, but what can he do for others? He possessed a low assist number for a guard, and he turns the ball over just as frequently. And we brought that up about Mason Jones, although Mason improved in that department as the year went on. If he could be a better decision maker as a passer, it'd open up his game. It'd open up his game more as an off-the-dribble scorer. So he's a decent defensive player, they go on to say. Their last little bit here on where he needs to improve. One will point to his shooting efficiency, as his field goal percentage and effective field goal percentage are quite low. However, those numbers should resemble his shooting abilities once he's no longer the focal point of a defense. all the more reason why he should come back. We all know this. Nothing I'm about to tell you is a news flash. They had nothing underneath until Ethan Henderson kind of came along. Every once in a while, you'd have someone else kind of pop up, but they didn't have any size underneath. There's no depth in the paint on the bench. You had nobody who could come in and relieve anyone who was even above or around 6'8". You don't have any. You didn't have 6'9", 6'10", 6'11" guys. Obviously, no 7-footers. You didn't have anything to assist him and to distract the defense. We knew what he did for the team, and something they failed to mention here, he opened up spacing so much when he was on the court. And that's such a big deal. That's one of the, obviously not just his range, but his ability to open up gaps on a defense when he comes up, because you got to press somebody up. You got to press somebody up at the perimeter, and it's going to force the other four guys to either cave in or cave out. It opens the floor up, gives you more spacing. That's why it's so pivotal. If Arkansas wants to make a real run in the NCAA tournament, Isaiah Joe is going to create those opportunities for these guys to have an incredible season, assuming we have a year. I hate having to say that. Isaiah Joe, he's going to have that in 2020. He's going to have that this year. And everything that he can work on here where he needs to improve, you know, he's excellent at creating his own shot, but he probably needs to shore up his defensive game a little bit more, and he needs to pass the ball a little bit more and give his other, you know, we get that he's going to be the guy. He's going to take, it sounds like, about 11 attempts a game. That number might come down a little bit this year. Well, it definitely will, because you're going to have more. Well, then again, I don't know. Without Mason Jones, that's probably one of the most interesting things to see as to what role Joe really takes. We know he's going to be the leader. We know he's going to be the guy that's pulling the trigger at perimeter at 3-point range. But does his load increase with the distraction that you're going to have inside, or does it decrease because that distraction is actually able to score and be a threat on the offensive side of things? But there's no doubt all he can do by coming back is improve. That's all he can do. He can improve and work on his game. You're going to be given that opportunity with size. There's no doubt Isaiah Joe should come back. And I'm not saying that as a Hog fan, but based on everything that we've read, everything we've talked about here, anyone we've been able to talk to, and obviously the Hog Talk guys, we've all talked about it. Me and friends who followed basketball for decades have talked this over. As a biased decision, yes, we want him back because of what he can do for the Razorbacks. But for his own career, there's no doubt coming back will more than likely, odds are very high that he's going to get taken higher in the draft. Maybe that doesn't necessarily mean he's a absolute big time, you know, a lottery pick or even just a first round pick for that matter. But maybe get him some more money one way or the other, if that means being still selected out of the first round. So yeah, this is where they say where he fits. Isaiah Joe's rookie season could go one of two ways. He could spend the majority of time in the G League, where he becomes a more dynamic player off the dribble, primarily as a playmaker. Yeah, and his overall playmaking skills, I mean, he's just a shooter, and that's fine. Those guys exist in the NBA, and they have great careers. But if you open things up, you become more of a playmaker, drive the court or drive the lane a little bit more often, create opportunities for other players, learn to, you know, set players up for the opportunity to score, get those assist numbers up. Oh my gosh, his numbers will skyrocket. Get those assist numbers up, create the space, create the opportunity for the other players, the other four guys to score. NBA will take notice of that. You combine that with his range. Oh my gosh, yeah, he absolutely could be a first-round talent. Or they also say he could become a lights-out shooter for a good team in his rookie year, similar to Landry Shamet last year. Yeah, so, and they go on to talk about what he could do for Memphis. But, yeah, I absolutely agree that he should come back, and I hope that he does. Don't burp, yuck. I did one time, and I had someone, no more content than we have to interview Joe Jorgensen. I'd do that. How about this new offense, quote unquote? I've got a good feeling about it, not saying we set the world on fire, but I think we do shock some folks. I think that's an opportunity. Not on the ballot to talk about today, but I'm gonna say that's the thing I'm looking. Well, you're not gonna see and know the offense even coming out of fall camp. You're gonna have an idea, and even even Briles said himself he doesn't really have a name for the style of offense. We've heard it called the veer and shoot and veer and what have you. But what I look forward to the most is obviously the players' feedback on what they're being asked from Briles and kind of his involvement and Pittman's involvement with the offensive side of things, from all the way from the line of scrimmage to the quarterback to your skill position guys. That's a big one. But for me, it's the position changes. We know Blaine Toll got moved to tight end. But all the other stuff right now is kind of speculation. I mean, there's definitely some stuff the coaching staff have alluded to or talked about, but we saw this under Chad. We saw this under Brett Bielema. We saw this under, I'm not going to mention John L. We saw this under Bobby Petrino. What they say and what they do can sometimes be two different things. So I'm curious at the end of July and then going into fall camp in early August, or going into the second week of August, what we actually are able to see and what we find out. Gosh, I'm so excited. I'm excited because the information we're getting from Pittman is like, look, it's business as usual. We're not talking about pushing this thing back, which is huge. We're in July now, and they're still not talking about pushing this thing back. And we said a couple months ago, if we get another huge spike, which we have, according to the media, we have, and according to hospitals and doctors, I get it. I'm opening up such a can of worms with people with that, but I'm not trying to. I'm not taking sides here. I do wear a mask, and I think everyone should, but I don't think you should be forced to, but I absolutely think everyone should wear a mask. But we've had that spike. It's here. There it is. You've got the spike, and yet there's no talks of this thing being pushed back. That is so positive. You're going to have people in the media come out in the next few days or the next couple of weeks if this thing doesn't start to go back down. Maybe then we'll just have to wait and see. That's the only thing you can do is play this thing by ear. It's a little terrifying. Unfortunately, like Mr. Douglas said earlier, who knows? Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. I've got a bottle of water. Flavored water. It's so good once it hits the lips. I am right now as of today, July 3rd, 2020, I feel pretty good the season's going to start on time. If they do have to push it back, just know there is the possibility at that point, and hell, still is the possibility. They're probably going to have to reschedule teams. You may not see a full 12-game schedule if they do have to push that schedule back, because then you're interrupting bye weeks and what have you. So I am 96% sure that Joe's coming back. I hope you're right. Wait, what did RJ Young do? Just look on Twitter. Scroll through his Twitter. He's gotten awfully political, and a lot of the Oklahoma people don't like it. Stay home, Joe, says Michael Simmons. I wish Mason Jones would have stayed. I get why he went. I think he, too, probably could have benefited from another year, but it's like, good grief, the talent that's coming in. Which would you want back, Mason Jones and Isaiah, or Joe and Daryl Macon and Jalen Barford? Give me Isaiah Joe all day. Isaiah Joe has the most – he's just got the most upside. Serious question. Do you think Pistol Pete Maravich was way underrated? Why does no one give that man respect? That's a good question. That's a really good question. Oh, Pistol Pete. Veer and shoot sounds so interesting. Wouldn't surprise me if only season ticket holders are the only ones allowed in the stadium. Mr. T-Dub says, Briles said about what he calls his offense, I like to call it productive. And at the end of the day, so what if you don't have a name to it? Yeah. Let's talk really quick about this recruit, and then we have one more thing, and that's I gotta go. We're gonna do 4th of July. We're gonna leave here. We're supposed to be done well before 4. 6'7", 230-pound Razorback basketball grad transfer Justin Smith, you remember him from Indiana, will finally be on campus to join quote-unquote voluntary workouts. Last season he averaged 10 points a game, 5+ rebounds a game. He led the Big Ten a year ago in total minutes played. So, yeah. All right, Arkansas got to commit. Was that yesterday? That was yesterday, I think. It was yesterday afternoon. 6'1", 235-pound inside linebacker Christopher Paul Jr. out of Crisp County High School in Cordell, Georgia is his hometown. He's considered a top 30 linebacker according to 247. And their composite, they have him as a top 30 prospect. In Georgia, he's rated somewhere around the top 60, whether that's composite or just their own recruiting just their own analytics. But he was formerly committed to Nebraska, being recruited by Sean Breckton and Barrett Rudd. R-U-U-D. I guess that's Rudd, kind of like Paul Rudd. I think he spells his name a little bit different. I don't have any information on his 40, but according to 247, he ran a 4.66 shuttle, about a 31-inch vertical. Again, listed around 6 foot. 6 foot, 6'1", 235. Pretty good size. Standard linebacker size, I bet, on average, if you looked around. Yeah, he decommitted on June 18th from Nebraska. He then got an offer from Minnesota on June 22nd. And then June 25th, he got the offer from Arkansas, and he committed July 2nd. Arkansas accepted his commitment. You can't turn down linebackers. In 2019, last year, this guy tallied 157 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, nearly 5 sacks, a forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. Primary position throughout high school, and most of the time he's played football, has been the linebacker position. So you're not getting a guy that was a former safety, former small tight end, moved to the linebacker spot. Sounds like that's been the majority of his high school career. We've talked about that here, where you get these leaner, taller safeties, and they turn them into linebackers, or the other way around. This guy has played the position. I don't know if Nebraska, you always hear about, or what fans will say when a player decommits, oh, well, we backed off on him. I don't know if that's the case. Again, this is just fresh. This came off of, this just happened, that he committed, and he just decommitted from them last month. I wanted to look at his complete. I know he does have a committable offer from another Power 5. Yeah, Louisville has an offer, Michigan State, TCU, Tennessee. I don't know if those are committable. Central Florida and West Virginia. Did I say Tennessee? So he does have quite a few offers and a couple other P5 offers. And I do believe the Louisville offer was a committable offer, and I think Michigan State was as well. But so he is committed to Arkansas. Puts Arkansas overall 29th. You're back into the top 30. They slid back a little while. They're going to stay at 9th in overall SEC recruiting. That puts them at 13 total commits. And I don't know a ton about the kid, but it seems like a pretty solid land. And they do have him. Again, he's a top 30 position linebacker. So, all right. I heard that our governor say that if the cases don't go down, no football will be played in Arkansas this year, or at least at high school. I haven't read that whole thing yet. And again, if you guys know more about that, please feel free to share. From what I understand, I thought that was high school. But if he does it for high school, then I obviously don't think they'll do it for college. I do believe that the COVID, this spike, I think, got to him a little bit and probably made him feel like, because he's being pushed by certain groups that he should absolutely create mandatory mask laws. Mandatory, you better wear your mask. I think Fayetteville's doing that, right? Isn't that right, Fayetteville? You have to wear a mask. Don't quote me on that. Ty, if we don't have a season, what happens to all of 2020 scholarships? How does that affect 2021? I don't know yet. I have no idea. I don't have the answer to that. I don't know if the NCAA is going to give them a pass. I don't know if they're going to treat this like they did with spring sports, which I'm sure they will. They'll allow players to probably retain that year, maybe, I hope. I don't know how that works with scholarship distribution. It's going to really it's just been a nightmare. It's hard when I don't have interns. I don't have people. The Hog Talk, I have the Hog Talk guys to lean on. I have some of you in Discord that I rely on. Some other content creators I can rely on information. And I am fortunate enough that I am friends with a few media people that I can kind of reach out to and get some information from. But right now, all the focus is on where we're at now with Sam Pittman and fall camp and everything. So, when we get some more information that's relevant, and it's all relevant, but when we get more information on how this will affect everything, obviously we'll talk about it here and with the Hog Talk as well. But hey, it's 4th of July. Go blow some stuff up, right? Don't forget the shades. Oh, the drip is back on. It took a back seat for a little bit, but it's back on. You guys be safe out there. I'm so looking forward to blowing some stuff up and probably drinking some beer, hanging out with the neighbors tomorrow. That's going to be exciting. You guys be safe. Again, any information about what if they cancel anything? Obviously, we'll all talk about it. We'll have a show, and we'll carry on with it. Great show, Ty. Go blow some stuff up. America, I agree. Alex says the cases have gone up like any normal virus, but the death rate is down. But that doesn't fit the narrative. Okay, Alex. I'm not saying I don't disagree with you at all. You're probably right. I'm not going to go into politics right now. But there's a lot to discuss there. So, anyways, oh yeah, brother. You guys have a happy 4th. Thanks again for being here. Remember to like, the video. For those of you watching this not live who come back to watch. You got any questions, leave them behind for me. Again, you guys can shoot me emails, hit me up in the DMs, whatever. If you haven't already, feel free to tap the subscribe button. And please, oh please, if you want to get caught up on the Hog Talk, that link is provided to you down below. Patreon supporters, you guys are rock stars. I appreciate all of you. To all of you that are here and to all of you that have donated today, you are awesome. Those links are all provided for you. The PayPal, the Patreon, the HTP podcast links are all provided for you down below in the description box. Woo Pig Suey, America, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Be good. Be safe. And always respect the drip.